This is FanCastic, the fantasy book podcast where we fancast all your favorite characters from best-selling fantasy books. Hosted by me, Loretta Kincaid. I'm a former stage and screen actress, current fantasy book narrator, and Hollywood entertainment professional working in TV music. This week, we are finally going to cast the beloved A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. So meet me in another realm, and let's make some magic. Hello, mere mortals, and welcome to episode 3. I hope everyone is loving the show so far. It has been so much fun. Love it. I love this. I love this. I previously had another podcast, and it was not this fun. This is so fun. We are here in some mood lighting already to get into casting A Court of Thorns and Roses. This is the book that brought me out of my many-year reading slump of high fantasy books. My friend Gina was the one who made me read it, and I hated the first half of this book. Do I have Stockholm Syndrome? Does she have Stockholm Syndrome? This feels like Beauty and the Beast. Now knowing more of Sarah J. Maas and her style and where she gets her inspirations and her obvious love of Disney, this makes more sense to me. Last week's episode, we had Adara on. We cast an amazing cast of Throne of Glass. I'm really happy with what we put together. And we talked a little bit about Throne of Glass being inspired by Cinderella and this, Beauty and the Beast, Belle and the Beast, with a little bit of spice. A Court of Thorns and Roses is a fantasy romance series by Sarah J. Maas. It follows the journey of 19-year-old Feyre Archeron after she's brought into the fairy lands of Prythian. This is, like I said, the first book of the series, which was released in May of 2015. And currently, as of right now, there are only 5 novels, 4.5. So 4 novels and a novella in the series. And the 6th installment has actually been confirmed by Maas and is in the works. So really hoping that's coming out. Her last book was book 3 of Crescent City. Something is due, and this has got to be the next one. I'm really excited. There's so much speculation of what the 6th book is going to be. Is it going to be this character, that character, Azriel, Elaine, Lucian, all these characters that we love, some of which we will be casting today, and some which we'll have to wait until book 2. Hopefully, if you're listening to this, you've read the book. This will not give any spoilers. We try not to, but some casting decisions obviously have to take in consideration for the books that will follow and that character's journey. But a bit about ACOTAR, if you haven't read it yet and need some convincing, let me convince you. A Court of Thorns and Roses kicks off with main character Feyre living in the southern human worlds in a continent that's like very much like the UK, Northern Ireland, Scotland, kind of broken up like that, lots of different regions. The north is inhabited by lesser fairies and high fae, some of which rule the courts called High Lords. The north is divided into courts. Speaking of those courts, they are the summer court, the spring court, autumn, winter, day, dawn, and night court. Are you sensing a pattern? When Feyre, a poor huntress, shoots a wolf to feed her family, she kicks off a series of events that gets her kidnapped and taken north to the fairy lands by the High Lord of the Spring Courts, Tamlin. She soon learns that fairies are impacted by a blight. She meets a seemingly duplicitous High Lord of the Night Court, Rhysand, and finds herself in a battle between good and evil. Ooh, we love this book. In March of 2021, it was announced that Disney's 20th Television would be producing, co-created by Sarah J. Maas and Outlander creator Ronald D. Moore. Now, if you listened to last week's episode, you will know that Throne of Glass, same shit, different day. In 2016, same thing. And one of the writers was a writer and directors and showrunners. I think she had quite a few people from Outlander. So it's like she wants this to be Disney or Hulu related. She wants people from Outlander. Like, let's just maybe follow Outlander and get this shit on Showtime and maybe Stars or something, especially with the stuff that we want to see, guys. Come on. But as we all know, recently, just a couple weeks ago, I think it was Valentine's Day that this came out in Variety and Deadline that Hulu has officially canceled the project as of Valentine's Day 2025. And after Disney's rights expire in the third quarter of 2025. So this summer, the rights will expire. They'll go back to her, exactly the same as what happened with Throne of Glass, and then she can shop it around. I sincerely hope she says, I want Throne of Glass, A Court of Thorns and Roses, and Crescent City all ordered to your network. I will give you the rights to all of them if this shit finally gets made. Like, I just feel like she's kind of been getting the runaround. This series is we're so unhealthily obsessed. I have bat wings. I have a Valeris cup behind me. I'm dressed like this. Like, come on. You're going to have to do it right or people are going to lose their minds. So I think she's absolutely justified in maybe being difficult to work with. Maybe the scripts she's read are like not what she's wanted. Like she needs some more, and it seems to be going back and forth. So there were rumors already last year that it was halted, that production, and there were some issues and stuff. Well, obviously we're seeing that there were a lot more issues, but when it was supposed to still be in talks, there were rumors that Margot Robbie was going to produce the series. That was the big get. Now we know Margot Robbie from Barbie and Harley Quinn and all these amazing things. Oh my gosh, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, her depiction of Sharon Tate is still my favorite role that she's done to date. Rhymes. Robbie was photographed getting coffee with someone who appeared to be Sarah J. Maas in late February of 2024. A photo is like somebody with just like very prominent highlights and really long hair. And so I can definitely see how it looks like it could be Sarah J. Maas, but it could be like a producer. Like it could be absolutely anybody. But of course we are crazies and we're like, no, we want it to be them. They're meeting, right? I think maybe we would have heard about it and the project would have been a little farther if Margot Robbie was attached to it. Fun rumor. There was also rumors of going around that maybe some people that will show up in the cast that maybe I'm interested in, a big casting get, was rumored to be Rhysand. We will get there as we get to our casting. A little bit more background on the production that was happening and maybe some of the issues that they were having was Hollywood and the entertainment industry as a whole is like really changing, and maybe eventually in a good way, because there's a lot of icky in Hollywood and I think we all know that. So the timing of this couldn't be worse. I think that really held a lot of things up. I'm pretty sure that there was, maybe because the WGA strikes were happening and the SAG strikes were happening and progress wasn't being made, maybe there was a sense of frustration from Maas and she was like, let's just take it off the table and like rethink about this. And in that time, she released the third book of Crescent City, House of Flame and Shadow. So she was like kind of busy, but I think the really big tell was there was a post of a script of a pilot that is no longer there. So I don't know if that was the Throne of Glass one or the ACOTAR one, but there is definitely a post of like working with Hulu and these things that are no longer. Obviously we know why, because now it has officially been announced that it's dead and the rights are going to go back to her this summer, but it's sad. It's pretty upsetting. You know, I feel like the last episode we were talking about Throne of Glass and like, man, I just feel really bad for her. Like this could have been really great. And like, this is the same thing. It's like, she can't catch a break really. Or like, this series is so beloved that it's like, it's hard to touch it, right? Like you don't want to mess it up, but we're going to do it. We're going to go in there and we're going to cast it. Joining me this week is a good friend of mine, Emyli Goodmanson. She's very important because I don't think this podcast would exist without her. She was in the room when this kind of blossomed, and I had to have her on here because, well, we'll get into it. But Emyli Goodmanson, is a friend of mine from college. She is the Senior Director of Program Marketing for the Segerstrom Center for the Arts here in California. And she used to work for the Amundsen Theater, the Center Theater group here. She is a marketing theater extraordinaire. She was at my wedding. She is my go-to concert friend girly for all things emo. Every time I'm at a concert, she's always there. And this time she did me a huge fucking solid and helped me get tickets to My Chemical Romance at Dodger Stadium this July. There was many of us in in the queue and tickets were going and they were going higher and worse seats. And she said, I'm in. Do you want me to get them for you? And I said, hell yeah, girls. Because she is such a real one, she is joining me now to cast A Court of Thorns and Roses. Let's welcome Emyli. Hi, Emyli.
Hi.
Hi, welcome to FanCastic. I'm so glad you're here.
Me too.
I'm so pumped. We would not be here if it wasn't for you.
That's not true, but that's very nice of you to say.
It's kind of true. I was at your house making
the place cards for your wedding.
Yes, place cards for my wedding. And then we were sitting at eating breakfast burritos from this really good place in LA. And we were talking about ACOTAR and that you were like, oh my gosh, I have people that I would want to see in the show. And I was like, I have people I want to see in the show. And you're like, oh my gosh, we should build this like PowerPoint thing together and submit ideas. And I was like, we should absolutely do that. And then I was like, actually, we should do a podcast. And you were like, oh, a podcast? And I was like, we could do a podcast. And FanCastic popped in my brain. And I was like, we would call it FanCastic for fantasy casting and fan casting.
Yes.
And then we got all squealy.
And genius.
Yes. We got all squealy. And then we both got too busy. Girl boss a little too hard. And was like, do you want to do this? And you're like, I don't know if I have time, but I would love to come on it. So Emyli, you also work in the entertainment industry, as do I. So this is like a great space for us to do this. I'm going to get your whole title right. You ready?
Yeah.
You are the senior director of program marketing at this
you're so
center, the Segerstrom
keep going.
Center for the Arts.
Yeah.
I did that with nothing in front of me, just your face.
I sometimes can't do that without something in front of me.
So, long story short, Emily's a badass in the theater world in LA.
God, I don't know how I ended up here, but yes.
But you're here, and first of all, yes, you do, because you're good at you're insanely talented. What do you mean?
Yeah, thank you.
And it's not because of the BFA program we attended together, which is how we know each other.
It sure isn't. I literally just told a room full of interns yesterday that what your degree is in does not matter. Like, you should probably have a degree, maybe, but does not matter. Like, I probably should have gotten a marketing degree. Sure didn't.
Nope. Guess what? We have degrees in theater.
And here we are, crushing it at life.
To be fair, we're in the entertainment industry, which is good, but like it has nothing to do with the people who taught us and tore us down in a BFA program.
Yeah.
Shout out Kate Eufema.
Hey girl.
Hey girl.
What a fun person. But theater is full of very transferable skills and makes you a better, more empathetic person, which I think does serve you well and serve both of us well. So I will take that from it, 100%. But I will not credit the BFA program with anything.
No. I think, and those transferable skills are learning how to not take bullshit and also sometimes take bullshit for the sake of advancing your career.
Yes. Which hills to die on. Yeah.
Hills to die on, many deaths. This is getting so sad, Panda. Okay.
Yeah, let's turn around and talk about some hot men.
Let's talk about some hot fat boys. Let's go. Okay, so ACOTAR.
Yeah.
Book 1. So book 1, I've only picked certain characters as when we eventually move into other books, we'll add more characters just for like the interest of time and so many and growth that those characters really aren't in this book. And I think it was like hard for both of us to be like, oh yeah, that's right.
Like, what do you mean I don't get to cast Azriel? What do you mean?
Yeah.
What do you mean? Where was he? First book and a half. Not there.
We know where he was. We just aren't supposed to know where he was.
No, yeah.
Until the next book.
About it. Yeah.
Yeah. We don't want to think about it because heart. Okay, but we'll get there. So
yeah.
Just Was ACOTAR the first Sarah J. Maas book, like, series that you read?
Yeah. ACOTAR was the first book that I read for fun, probably in almost a decade.
100%.
Due to being a high achieving student who read a lot for academic reasons and then struggled with undiagnosed ADD for a long time and couldn't focus on books. And so decided that I hated them and didn't want to read them anymore. And then realized that that was dumb and books are great. And ACOTAR was my gateway drug back into that. And now I've read every Sarah J. Maas book and several more, and I'm almost done with Onyx Storm, which is great. We're making progress.
Yay! Oh my god,
Yeah.
yay! You're gonna have to text me when you finish Onyx Storm.
Yeah, I said almost done. I'm like a third of the way into it. But yes, I'll text you when I'm done. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so you've made it past the chapters of who the fuck am I talking about?
Yeah, there's so many people and I don't know who they are. And also, like, I listen to audiobooks because my job is in Orange County and I am not in Orange County, so audiobooks. And so I can't like flip back and like look at who they are, or like also I need a map like projected onto my windshield, if that could be a thing that we could do, or like on my little screen in my car, because I don't know where things are. Like, also, wait, this is off topic, but I have a grievance. I listen to the drama
fantasy book podcast. Everything is on on topic. You can go for it, queen.
Thank you so much. This is a hill I will die on.
This is a safe space.
If you release an audiobook and it's not the first in a series and you already have the dramatized audiobooks out, you need to release the third book with the dramatized audio version, because if you switch to a regular audiobook and now it's a girl who's fine, she's great, doing a man voice for Xaden instead of actual Xaden voice from the rest of the books, it is very jarring. Also, Kat's British now, and she was not before, but now she's British. I don't know why, but Kat's British.
Surprise!
Yeah, what a twist. I was like, I'm sorry, who is this?
Wait, that's so weird.
Yeah, they also keep saying the city where Xaden's house is in, they say it differently. The first one is Irisha, and the second one is Aracia. In the new, like, the non-dramatized audiobook version, they pronounce that city differently.
Okay. This is okay. This is on topic.
Spelled with an A, and I didn't never would have guessed it was spelled with an A.
This is also on topic because in my last episode for Throne of Glass, when you're as an audiobook narrator, I would not dream of recording something without being like, "Hi there, author. Can you please send me a voice note of how you prefer this to be said?"
Yes.
In accordance to you. Which I did, because I was like, I'm not going to butcher this, record it, produce it, and then have it be wrong. And then especially if the dramatized versions are coming out of something and someone's going to change what they're saying, and then there is all these different other media and mediums of like us saying these words and we don't fucking know how to say them. Like, can we get we need a projected map for the audiobooks.
Yes.
And a vocab guide.
Yes, please.
Need that. Please. Thank you.
I accidentally started a Sarah J. Maas book club at my new job, which is a fun fact. But half of us are audiobook listeners and half of us are book listeners. And speaking of Throne of Glass, somebody was trying to tell me something about how they felt about a darlin. And I was like, what the fuck are you saying to me right now? And I was like, do you mean otterlin? Which I thought was spelled like the little mammal with like water creature? Otterlin? Is that what you mean? And I was like, I don't know what a darlin is, but thank you.
Okay, this is so fucking funny. This is an adult podcast. I can say fuck.
Oh, great, because I just did, but you can bleep it.
Oh yeah, no, we don't bleep thing. No, we don't do that. Not here. So Adara and I were also like, how do we say this? And she goes, okay, I saw a thing on TikTok where someone said it's Otterland. And I was like, no, it's a darlin.
No. But haven't you seen the TikTok of the scene where the musicians were in mourning black and then they played the song of Otterlin? That's from the dramatized audio. Oh, I'm going to send you something. I'm
Why is it spelled like that?
I don't know. I'm not Sarah J. Maas.
Why did she spell it like that? How am I supposed to know that it
What
was
do you
like
mean?
otter?
Exactly. What are you trying to do, Sarah? Also, it's a dumb way to spell Selena. I'm just going to go on record and say that that's a
Such
dumb
a
way to spell
stupid way of spelling Selena, who I don't know where we go because I'm still only halfway through Crown of
Oh,
Midnight, but
wait,
I
you
know
know
that
who
her
she is
name
though, right? Oh,
changes.
okay.
No, not yet. Not yet. But I only know I do
Sorry.
I do from the internets. From
I'm
like before
sorry.
no, but like from before I started reading the book.
Yeah.
So I don't know who and how, but I know there's a
Yeah.
thing with Elena.
I knew that Reese was daddy before we were supposed to know. And
No.
I know. And I was like, I would sell my left arm to be able to read this without knowing that.
Oh my God,
Um,
that fucking blows.
like this is in my not reading phase, so I didn't
For
think
sure.
anything of reading a spoiler of a book I was never going to read. And then somehow it was like it came back to me like the moment he like found her in the woods. I was like, oh, that's right. The hot guy from this book is like dark black hair, like like much cooler than Tamlin, and I like put it all together.
Oh no,
Yeah.
that's like the magical part that like when it does come together, you're like, oh, I've been looking for you.
I still almost had to like pull my car over when he was like explaining the whole like paintings on the dresser thing.
Oh my
So
God,
don't
that's my favorite part.
it's
That's my favorite
um
part. Like she's painting star. Oh, I'm gonna fucking cry.
it's fun.
He sent her the stars. Okay,
Yeah.
so ACOTAR brought you back into the world of like
Yeah.
fun reading, fantasy.
Yeah.
I'm right there with you. That is the only reason I'm here. Book talk and friends being like, you gotta read this book. And I was like,
Yeah.
I don't read anymore. I was doing memoirs. I was like reading a lot of celebrity
Cool.
memoirs and like true crime stuff. And that was it. But it was like real things, like no fiction,
Yeah.
no fantasy. And I gotta be honest, when I started reading this book, I hated it
Really.
until she got Under the Mountain. And I was like, hell yeah, this
Because
shit's
until
weird.
then you're like, is this just Beauty and the Beast? And what am I doing here? And I also feel like the first half of the book and the second half of the book are like two totally different things.
Fully different books. Like,
Yeah.
what it's like she started writing it, and like no hate, but like she started writing it being like, I have a fun idea. Like what she did with Throne of Glass
Yeah.
being Cinderella.
Yeah.
And running with that, she was like, I'm
Yeah.
gonna do it for Belle too. And then didn't think it through, and then was like, oh wait, actually that's not gonna work. And like, what if Belle and Gaston was the good guy? Like,
Yeah.
and then she had to like kind of figure it out.
Yeah.
But I like it took me so long to get through the first half of the book because I was like, I'm so bored.
Yeah.
This is really
That's
boring. I
fair.
know this story.
I've like convinced two people to read it, and both of them have been like, I don't know. And I'm like, just get to the second or third challenge Under the Mountain, and if you're still not into it, you can DNF the book. But until then, stick with it.
Yeah, I didn't really love it either, and that seems to kind of be the popular opinion. Now, there was almost a show of this already. So we know it's fully dead at Hulu, Disney Plus.
Yeah.
That came out on Valentine's. Womp womp. Like, also, what horrible timing for her. Like, happy Valentine's
Yeah.
Day, my show's dead, and now the world
Yeah.
knows. There was speculation that it was dead anyways. People thought that, like, Margot Robbie was going to produce it.
Yeah.
The showrunner and creator of Outlander, which is, like, totally the right vein to be in. Like,
Yeah.
absolutely, that's who you should be working with. So it really sucks, but I wonder if this is ever going to get made.
Yeah. I'm very sad it was killed, but a part of me doesn't want it on Hulu because I want it to be a little more, not just for the spice, but I want it to be a little bit more R-rated. I want the war to be really scary. I want the Midgard worm to be really scary. Like, I want it to be scary. And like spoilers, stabs people in the heart. Like, I want it to be violent. So I'm very sad that it's dead, but I'm very hopeful it is picked up by like an HBO or a Starz or Apple TV or like somebody who can do Game of Thrones style drama, scary fight, like war style stuff.
Fully
Yeah.
agree. Fully agree. It has to be dark and
Yeah.
moody. And I would love to see like this first book be very Bridgerton, fluffy, Hunger Games, Katniss esque,
Yeah.
right? Where it's like there's like a darker side of obviously this human character that has to go do things. And then it just gets fucking dark. And then the
Yeah.
rest of the series is dark because there's a whole book where they're at war.
They're at war.
There's a whole
Yeah.
there's so many things that happen. There's torture. There is corpses. Like there's like it's gotta be dark. I don't think Hulu and Disney
I
would
don't
have
want Disney
been
anywhere
able
near
to do it.
Yeah.
No, and that's what I'm like worried about is because I think that she wants Disney near it because of it, the source material.
Yeah.
And
I don't.
I'm like, girl, squirrel friend, I know that maybe you
No.
want that, but there's no middle ground here. You got to pick.
Also,
Yes.
I feel like
Yeah.
Disney would take like Faye a little bit too pretty, and I want to be
Yeah.
like you need to be genuinely afraid of Reese when you first
Yeah.
meet him. And Asriel is terrifying. Like if we weren't on Asriel's side, he would be so scary. Cassian as well, like all of them. And I feel like yes, they're hot, but
Like-
also they could murder you and would and have.
They have to be
there.
Yeah. They aren't humans. They're creatures. They're high fae. Fae. When we were in the UK for our honeymoon, my honeymoon, not our honeymoon, but you know, maybe.
We're secretly married.
We're secretly married. This is my wife. But in Scotland and in Ireland, you couldn't even say the word fairy or fae because they're very superstitious. They have like fairy bushes and fairy trees all over the
Cute.
country that in Ireland, they fully rerouted an entire roadway because there was a fairy bush. And they were like, we're not going to fuck with the fairy bush because the fairies and the fae attached to that lore will fuck up their family. Like, it'll, like, destroy their crops. It'll burn their house down. And so it's like, you got to be really careful there. And here, like, we're so like, oh my God, I really want that. But it's like, if you were to see what a fae, like a high fae, looked like in a human-sized form, you'd be scared. Feyre knows that they're supposed to be bad. Like, she's learned that they're supposed to be bad and scary.
Her entire life that they are evil and scary and will murder you at first glance, and like believes that after she meets them.
I think that's where like the challenge of casting is going to come in because it's gotta be. It can't be like, oh damn, do you want to kill me? Like, it's gotta be like, oh, do you want to fucking kill me? And oh my God, you have a heart. Oh wait.
Oh,
and like you're very attractive.
I'm terrified of you first.
Yes.
Not like, oh my God, you're so hot. And also like a little scary. It's like scary has to come first.
Yes. Please don't kill me. You know, like when they're in that dining room, that scene where she gives up the name that's not her name.
Oh my God, I went to a different dining room scene that's not in this book, but is in Silver Flames.
You know, in that scene, that's terrifying. I was like, girl, I would have been terrified too. You whip that shit out on a dining room table, I'm out.
I gotta go. This is not the right setting. Asriel's around here somewhere.
Asriel's like,
yeah, when.
Don't mind me, guys. I'm just here in the shadows.
But yes, the scene where she gives up Claire Better's name and Reese doesn't realize realizes it's a real person. That is a very scary dining room scene.
So scary. And like, it's like, oh my God, is he gonna kill her? Like, and her whole family? Like, that's exactly what he was gonna do.
And did do that.
Yes. Yeah. And you like, it's hard to remember that while casting this first book because you're like, oh shit, that's right. I don't like you. I'm not supposed to like you in this book. So I think that's like the biggest challenge. There was definitely casting rumors, but one of real note, it was just always like this person. And then everybody, of course, on TikTok is throwing out people that are models, over actors, and I mean
Richard, whatever his last name is very hot, but
Richard
until we
D.
see he's super hot.
So
I'll
hot
look at him all day, but
for sure. Yeah. And from the research I did while considering him, he can't. So he can't. He's just a stoic boy.
Yeah.
And
he's beautiful. And we don't really expect beautiful people to be able to do much at all.
Right. So I do need somebody who's going to kind of freak me the fuck out, but also who I would want to fuck me sideways.
Yeah.
Just be straight up.
And
eventually.
Another
good soup. Good soup. Okay. Do you want to do this shit?
Let's do it. Yeah. Oh, and before we dive into ACOTAR, I have to make a correction to the record, which is that can you see it?
I can. I'm going to add it to the stage.
Okay. There it is. Okay.
Wait, you have to make a
correction to your casting.
Oh, no.
Of Glass. Unfortunately, you were wrong. His Majesty King Dorian Haviljard is incorrect, and I have the correct casting that I'm going to share.
My sister was a witch. You gotta look at me and tell me that I'm wrong
on your own podcast and tell you that you're wrong. And I'm
oh my god,
why you're wrong. This is Dorian Haviljard. I hope. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Oh my god. Okay.
This is him.
Hello, sir.
Hello. I could look at this picture all day. His name is Patrick Ball. I have discovered him on the show The Pit, which is on HBO.
Everyone's saying that show's so good.
It's so good. It's fantastic.
It's a medical drama?
It's a medical drama set in an ER in Pittsburgh, which is why it's called The Pit. Both The Pit is the ER and also Pittsburgh, right? It's Noah Wiley, which is giving big ER vibes. But the major difference is that every episode is an hour of the shift. So the whole season is one day. And it's
that's really cool.
Fucking amazing. And he's like a third-year resident or something. And I call him Emo Chris Pine because I can't remember his character's name.
He does look like Emo Chris Pine.
But the moment I saw him, I was like, put this man in an emo band. And he's so beautiful. And I know you haven't finished the book, but there's a scene that is very important to me and to a lot of people. And I can just see him nailing that scene and it being perfect and amazing and wonderful.
Okay.
And I needed to correct the record. This is the correct Dorian Haviljard.
You got my graphics.
I did. I stole them from you. So you're welcome.
Okay, wait. So largely who we decided on was Tom Blythe because of age casting reasons. Now, how old is Patrick Ball?
So this man does not have his birthday on IMDb, which is very annoying. But I'm going to guess early 30s. In the show, he's recently married and has a kid, which sounds like an early 30s thing to do. Not that I would know, but that seems right. And then also just based on looks, I'm going to go early 30s, which I know is a little old. I know they're supposed to be 18, 19, but I can see it. He also has had to grow up really fast, and he has the weight of a kingdom on his shoulders, so that might age you a little bit.
Well, here's the thing. So we cast Sadie Sink. You saw Selena, and Sadie Sink did all too well with Dylan O'Brien, and it didn't feel like there was a crazy age gap. So, I mean,
I feel
he's a contender.
The jawline, the little chin dimple. I feel like this definitely is really hard to argue against.
Well, let me ask you, because we're not there yet, but why would you not consider him for Reese?
I don't find him scary at all.
Okay.
That is my answer.
Okay. So,
yeah.
I mean, Adara and I talked about how, as the series, it's 8 books, of Throne of Glass. So it's as it progresses, there's so much change and there's so many different characters and crazy things go down. And I'm not there yet, but I know that crazy things are coming. That we said we don't think it would be impossible to kind of switch out casts. And I don't mean change up actors through the season. or through the
Okay.
series. I mean, we've chose Tom Blythe as our fan cast for Dorian.
Mhm.
That in like 4 books, when I'm at, Queen of Shadows or something, and that
Mhm.
changes,
Queen of
we can
Shadows,
be
chapter
like,
68,
actually,
specifically. Yes.
Queen
Continue.
of Shadows, chapter 68. Okay. All right. See, I'm already kind of like
For no
locked
reason.
in.
The
I'm
only
just
thing
telling
about
you.
changing them is I this is like a teensy little spoiler, if that's okay. There is a moment where towards the end of the book series, and they're in a geographical location that they've been before. This is really hard to do without spoilers. And they said it's crazy how we were all here just over a year ago. So like all 8 books are supposed to
Whoa.
happen in a year, which I am of the camp that this is like a mythical place and the years must mean something different there, because the amount of shit that happens could not, it makes no sense for
Happen.
it to happen in a year. But
Okay, that's
it is
interesting.
written in the text that it is slightly
That's how
over a
long it
year.
is.
A lot happens.
Listen, I like him. He's really cute. And
Mhm.
my husband and I are going to have to start watching The Pit.
So good. Please let me know what you think when you get
Is
into
it
it.
like, is it like Grey's Anatomy used to be? Like good?
I only watched the first couple of seasons of Grey's Anatomy. I wouldn't compare the two because there's absolutely no like interpersonal drama or like soap opera esque. The only thing that is vaguely interpersonal is they allude to the fact that 2 of the characters used to date.
Okay.
But there's like nothing comes of that. It's just like an in passing fun fact. Otherwise, it is all about the
Okay.
patients and the medicine.
Wow, that sounds really good and like very dramatic.
Yeah, it's quite
Okay.
true. Yeah.
Okay. I'm into it.
All right.
Well, I appreciate you throwing in your
You're so
correction. I
welcome.
would like to publicly apologize for making such an error.
Thank you. Your apology is noted and accepted. Thank you. Uh, and now we will dive into ACOTAR here.
All right, girl. I'm ready. I'm going
I
to sit
don't.
back and enjoy.
Okay. I thought long and hard about Feyre. This is my choice. This is Hannah Dodd from Bridgerton fame, which is funny that you brought up Bridgerton because I think this will help lure people in with the
Mhm.
spring court being the ton, if you will.
Mhm. Mhm.
But also, I think she looks like she could handle herself in a fight. Like I've seen some people bring in Phoebe, and I don't. That's we'll get to her later. Like she could not win in a fight. I think Hannah could win in a fight with some
Okay.
training.
Like a hand-to-hand combat
Yeah,
situation.
yeah,
Fighting worm.
yeah.
Okay. I love her.
And she has features that would make her high fae like really easy. Like I can see the
Okay.
transition happening. I'm into it.
Has Hannah Dodd been in it's been Bridgerton, and has there been anything else?
I only know her from Bridgerton.
Me too. Like so maybe she could use this as like a big catapult to her career win.
I feel like a lot of the people in this show should be relatively unknown, or at least not super recognizable at as another person. Like if I see one more
Yeah.
Henry Cavill fan casting, I'm gonna lose my goddamn mind.
You can't do it, and neither can Ian Somerhalder, okay? Like they are old.
From like 20 years ago, yeah, would have
Vampire
been
Diaries?
perfect.
Hell yeah.
But that
Yeah.
Ian is not here anymore, and
He's
I'm
not
sorry.
here.
And we're all older,
Well,
and that's fine.
he is here. He actually shows up at my Target and signs bottles. They have like a whiskey company, and he'll leave Post-it notes around Target. We have one. It's weird.
LA is a bananas place to live.
It's a weird place here.
Here's my casting for Tampon. This beautiful specimen is Jordan Patrick Smith, who was in a show called The Vikings. I picked him for this because he's in the show Lovecraft Country, which I don't know if you saw that show, but that's another one you should watch. And he plays like a kind of evil person who's like secretly not as evil as you think he is. And I know that's the opposite of what we're doing here, but he can do both. And also he's beautiful.
He's gorgeous. He's got those really pretty blue eyes.
Yeah.
I started I think I watched a couple episodes of Lovecraft Country. Stopped after the episode with the haunted house and the dismembered things.
That's fair.
We had to take a beat and then we never came back to it. So, but I really like that. Okay.
Yeah. I also think he would play a mean fiddle. So
yeah,
I don't know. There's something about him that's giving fiddle player at Callan High.
I saw somebody posted. Somebody said, I would have been over Tamlin when he started playing that fucking fiddle at the party.
The moment the fiddle came out, I would have walked.
I've been like, oop, I have the ick. Bye.
Goodbye. She was drunk out of her mind. We can't blame her.
Absolutely shit-faced. Good for her.
Okay, next. Oh, this is my boldest choice. This is my resand. This is Phil Dunster, also known as Jamie Tart from Ted Lasso. And I have to apologize to Phil Dunster because I was not familiar with his game until I saw these photos and about lost my goddamn mind. Because he looks so good, alarmingly good. And we know he can act because he's Jamie Tart and he's amazing, and the emotional range that he goes, like, right? I feel like
I'm like losing my shit right now.
I did it. But I have to apologize to this man. I had no idea that he could do this.
I also am so sorry, sir.
He could get it at any point in time.
Is literally, I just want to like crawl into the screen. That second picture of him,
this one,
I would be like, if he looked down on me like that, I would be like, please don't eat me.
Yeah, there's nothing that he has out here right now that's like giving terror, but it is giving the potential of terror, which I am responding to.
Also, I'm sure he is like so trained. Like, he's from across the pond. He can act.
Classically trained Shakespearean British actor who probably has an Olivier that we don't know. Like,
literally. Oh my God, how he never. This is why I love this podcast, and it's so fun because there are people that I when we get to my resand, I was like, I don't fucking know, man. Like, I have so many options in there because I'm like, I don't fucking know. I couldn't make a choice. I don't know. This feels like it feels like a really big decision. Looking at him, this does not feel like a big decision. This feels like he is the choice.
Right? Like, I almost did put him in here because it feels so, like, Jamie Tart is so obviously not right. Like, the characters are so different. But I think it is right.
But there's a part, his arc in Ted Lasso makes sense. Like, you know, he's superficial. He's with oh God, he's with Keely and like is just this, and then you realize like, oh God, no, he really isn't. Like, he's just been through a lot and like he's like working through things, and like there's this side to him that you're like, oh my God, I love him. That who girl.
Pretty good.
That's a really good one.
Here we may have peaked. It might be all downhill from here, but I feel really good.
No, I have more faith in you than I have in my cast. So I really like him though. I really, really, really like him.
Yeah. Okay.
Fucking job, dude. Yeah.
Thank you. Let's see what else I need to come up with.
And then we got.
Yeah, this is Elaine. I said we'd get to Phoebe later. I didn't mean to do Bridgerton. She looks breakable and dumb, and I don't like Elaine. So I like Phoebe. I'm no beef with Phoebe, but like, she looks like she would be described only by her beauty and would love to have a flower garden and love to garden, and her family's starving, and yet why does she not plant food? Like,
literally, like, why are you not gardening?
A carrot? Food grows from the ground, my girl. Even an edible flower might be good. I have no beef with Phoebe herself. I know it sounded like I do, but I don't like Elaine. But she looks good.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. I don't have much more.
Interesting. Yeah. You will see why I'm saying interesting when we get to my cast, because we might have to do some rearranging.
Okay.
For things that would work.
Oh, I'm very proud of this one. This is my Nesta. This is Alicia. I think it's Debna McCary. She's on a show called 100, which is one of my favorite sci-fi futuristic TV shows of all time. And she's fantastic in it. And she's super tough and cool and a warrior. And she wears leather and fur. And she's great. And I love her.
Now, why would you choose her for Nesta and not Feyre?
So I went back and forth on Nesta and her for Nesta and Feyre. I perhaps have not seen her do anything softer than this character, Lexa. This is her in the 100. And I kind of want to fear for Feyre's life for a little bit of Under the Mountain. Like, I want to be as surprised by her as everybody else is. And maybe because I know her as Lexa and I see her as a really strong fighter, I don't know that I would fear for her life.
That makes sense, because my immediate reaction was like, especially like with the photo that you chose, my immediate reaction is she looks like she's like gonna fight a worm.
I want Feyre to get to here, and maybe Alicia, like maybe she could do this, and I just have not seen her, because her on Instagram is very like pretty and feminine and cute, not this like leather clad warrior and leader of the Grounders. I would be fine with her in either role.
So maybe a switcheroo. We might have to revisit that.
Yeah.
I don't really know her and her work, but I feel at some point like, you know, Feyre's got to be kind of scary too. Like to pull off Night Court Queen,
the high lady of the Night Court. Yeah.
So like having both sides and stuff. So I think I would have to like kind of look at her feminine side and things she's been in for Feyre, but I like maybe shifting her.
So your homework from this episode is to watch The Pit, to watch The 100, and to watch Lovecraft Country.
I can't. I have to read books now.
You're the host of a very important podcast.
I have to read books. There are 4 people who watch and listen to this. And they've all been on my podcast, and the other one is me. Just kidding. What if this like blows up and there's like a bunch of people listening and watching this right now? I hope so, because
would be both amazing.
It would make my life.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So we've got Lucien next. Oh, please God, give me a win on this one, because I am fucking stuck on this.
So I really like my choice. I have a backup who's not, I wasn't able to find any pictures of I wasn't able to get them in time, but if we are against my first one, I have a backup choice. Are you ready? This is bold.
Ready. Okay.
Jordan Fisher. He is a known fan. He loves the books. He's beautiful. He's mixed. I cannot find a picture of him with red hair, and I tried to edit one and it didn't work. But I think he could do it.
This is who I want. This is not my choice. This is not my choice. This is who I want. This is who I picture. Always. Especially knowing things, no spoilers. But I was talking to someone that I was like struggling with this, and they were like, yeah, but Lucien has to be white passing. And I was like,
I don't think he does.
I don't think if
they describe him as quite tan and like noticeably tanner than his brothers. And also like I feel like people would not assume anything else. So like your brain can do some magic and like it's not even an option for him to be mixed. So you use language like tan.
Apparently people have done deep dives on this. The lineage in question is Persian versus Black.
Yeah. Yes.
Or Native, or like, you know, that's not it. This is a fake world, guys.
Yeah.
I think for the sake of diversity, like, come on, I'm gonna need someone of color. I'm obsessed with Jordan Fisher. This is who I want, because like him and the Lane and of it all and the and the shitty family and stuff, like my heart would absolutely break seeing Jordan Fisher do that kind of work.
I think he could also do the humor. Like Lucien is low-key hilarious throughout most of book 1.
100%. I really want him as Lucien, and we might just pick him. I'll show you who mine is too, but mine is only who it is because, well, there's like 2 reasons. There's 2 reasons, because I was like, I don't know if I can choose Jordan Fisher. So we'll get there. Who is your backup choice?
So my backup is Erin Kellyman, who's a woman, so it would be gender swap. But she is half black, half white, and she has red curly hair. She's a phenomenal actor. She's in one of the new Star Wars, one of the 3 most recent ones, and she's in the Marvel Falcon and Winter Soldier TV show. She's the like revolutionary leader.
Yes, I think if we're gonna gender swap anyone, I think Lucien is the correct choice, especially with the Elaine relationship and the family dynamic and stuff. So I think that there would be really something if we wanted to bring in more of the gender swap, or trans community or something that really is going to open up and diversify the cast, I would be into that too. I talked about it, but I think we both really like Jordan Fisher. I'm glad that it's him because I was like, that's who I wanted. And then I was second guessing myself.
Okay. All right, next. Oh, Amarantha. Sophie Turner.
Lock it in, girl. Lock it in.
In this specific photo of Sophie Turner, but she's also amazing, and she's an amazing actor, and I would love to see her do this.
Yeah, lock it in. That's who I have too.
Okay. Did you also have this photo? Okay.
Softer side based on the background of the graphics that I made. She's absolutely it for me. I know people like think of like Madeline Pesh and even like Jessica Chastain and stuff, but I was like, I feel like Jessica Chastain is respectfully too old.
Yeah.
And Sophie Turner needs a moment. She has gone through a messy custody battle. Give this bitch a bad ass role so she can fuck some shit up. She's earned it. Sansa gets her time. So we're going to lock her in because that's exactly who I have too. I don't see anyone else. I've seen her since the beginning.
Fantastic.
Oh,
okay,
amazing.
Next. All right, here we go. My Alice is Octavia Spencer.
Okay.
I know I said they shouldn't be famous, but I couldn't resist. I think she's perfect as Alice.
No, there's no budget. And then in the real world, we want this to all be unknown people because jobs.
Yes. My Suriel is Tilda Swinton. Again, in this photo, exactly. I think it's hilarious.
I'm obsessed.
There's also, when you finish Throne of Glass, there's a theory that connects the two, that the Suriel might be a character from Throne of Glass.
I'm obsessed with your Suriel choice.
Right? It's so good.
Mine is a joke, but also kind of real.
But also, I think the Suriel's kind of a joke. Okay.
The Suriel is just... The Suriel's a messy bitch who just wants...
Just love gossip and fuck with people, and I think is really bored.
The Suriel's like, I'm a trap bitch. Like, and all you are taking way too long to figure out what your fate is, and like, our world is crumbling. Get it together.
Literally, like, are we doing no spoilers, or can we spoil?
We can spoil. I don't care. If people are fan casting this and they haven't read the rest of the books, then like you shouldn't be listening to this. You should be reading the rest of the books.
You should be reading. Think about your life choices.
When this read
like says your mate or whatever, I was like, that there's no way that was on accident, or that they thought that she knew. Like, that was 100%.
Yeah, it was like
taking far too long, and I want to see y'all bang, and you need to get it together.
For sure.
Like, literally,
and like
oops.
Yeah, and was like, oh, your mate back there. My what? Oh my God. What did I just say? That's so crazy of me. Cool. Okay, so moving on to Papa.
Archeron. I don't feel super strongly about this, but I think he's a cool looking actor, and I think Papa Archeron has to look a little like beaten down, but also he has a cool redemption moment. I like this guy. I like his face. I like his acting.
And he's from Game of Thrones, right?
Game of Thrones. He is Jaime Lannister.
Jaime Lannister as Papa Archeron. Okay, I can see that.
Yeah.
He is, I would say, what, a B-list actor?
Mm-hmm.
B-list, A-list? I would call him B-list, maybe. Yeah, I kind of like him too. And I feel like you would kind of be like, get your shit together, man. Take care of your girls.
Yeah. I think that's it. I think that's the end.
Okay, amazing. I love it. So we definitely locked in Sophie Turner already.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really... Mr. Phil as Reese, man.
Sleeper threat.
That's good. That's a good one. You ready for mine?
I'm so ready.
Mine has some choices. Are you ready?
So ready.
Okay. So my Feyre is Christine Froseth. She is from Buccaneers. Did you ever watch that show?
No, I am not familiar with her.
Someone else has homework. She's real cute. She's the baby sister. She's also really stunning. And I mean this in the nicest way, very plain. Where if you threw her in a Katniss Everdeen styled outfit and she's gotta go hunting, you can dress her up and dress her down. She is on the younger side, so as things progress, she's a human aging until everything changes. I love her as Feyre. She's got the piercing blue eyes.
Mhm.
I like her a lot. Buccaneers is a really good show. Period
Okay.
piece of like these girls in the olden days of like the brothel times and stuff. It's very good. My Tamlin is Sam Reed
Mhm.
because did you watch the new Interview with the Vampire?
No, but I am familiar. I feel like I've seen him in other things, and I have looked him up because I think I've seen him in other castings, and I support him.
I love him. I love
Yeah.
him. He's so cute and just a fucking nightmare if he needs to be.
Yeah.
Like, oh, can you imagine him like throwing shit in the library?
He also looks like he could play a mean fiddle. Um, we also have to
Yes, he
remember
does.
we're supposed to love Tamlin at the begin. Like we're
Right.
supposed to fall in love with him, and he's a little cutie patootie butt.
I mean, she's like stunned by him, right? And then I kept
Yeah.
thinking of like, he's kind of got like that Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde look. And
Yeah.
like maybe it's because of Interview with a Vampire, but that's like my brain was there. So like with the wolf transformation
Mhm.
into who he is, plus if he got masks and everything that's like on, I could just really see taking away from his attractive looks because he's got these like great high cheekbones. And this dude can act
Yeah.
himself into a box. Like
Yeah.
that's not a phrase, it's acting himself out of a box, but he's
Out of
really
the box,
great.
but I support it.
Are you ready to go on a journey with me?
I don't know, man. Let's try it.
Now,
How dare you? First of all, no,
now,
no, no,
now, my first instinct with Rysand
no.
is gonna upset some people, and that's because I cast comedian Matt Rife
Why would you do this to us?
because he's an asshole.
Yes,
Because
but
he sucks. He's real hot, and he acts like an asshole. But I don't know Matt Rife personally, and I know he's done and said some fucked up stuff because he's a comedian, and sometimes they don't know when to turn the show off.
mm,
But I think from a purely PR standpoint, people might watch.
hate watch maybe.
Maybe.
Hmm.
So that was like my first thought that I was like, this is going to
Hmm.
piss people off.
If we could unlearn everything we know about him and just go off looks, I'm fine with it. But if we're just doing that, then I vote for Richard Dice or Deese or whatever.
Right. Right. So that's
Mm,
why Matt Rife is
okay.
not my real choice
Okay. Thank God.
because
I'd be really
he can, he, I don't know if he can, I don't know if he can serious. I
yeah.
don't know if the painting of him on the bed with the
Oh
wings and
yeah.
the
Yeah.
vulnerability,
Mhm.
I don't see him.
That's true.
I do see the already fan favorite Thomas Doherty.
Do not find this man attractive. I'm so sorry. There's nothing about his face that is doing anything for me. I mean, he's better than Matt Rife. I'll give you that.
So Thomas Doherty
Mhm.
is of Gossip Girl, the reboot.
Yes.
He is
Yeah.
of Descendants. He's Captain Hook's son. So he's
Sure.
got the dark emo-y fantasy
Mhm.
side. So I think that's why everyone kind of goes there.
Yeah.
But I fully transparent did not add him until yesterday because I was like, okay, Matt Rife is not a real choice. Like we can't actually do that. And I was hoping to God that you made a great decision. Did. Um,
Here to serve.
but so Thomas is 6 feet tall. His
Okay.
body is absolutely banging. Like he's
Okay.
really hot. And he's scary. Um,
Yeah.
he is scary. He's not gorgeous right away. I fully agree with that. I don't think
Mhm.
he's like the type that you would see to be like the most beautiful man I've ever seen. I think I would
But
be like,
Isn't that exactly how Feyre describes him? Like, the moment he finds her in the woods, she's like, "This is the most beautiful man I've ever seen in my life."
Yeah, but then
And
he's like, he can be, but he's also, like, evil. Remember we were just talking about, like, that
yeah,
first thing it has to be fear.
you have to be fear first. That is true. I would
It
be
has
afraid
to
of
be
him
fear
before I would be
first.
attracted to him.
Right? Because and I wouldn't be afraid of him as, like, "Oh, he's going to eat me," but I would be like, "Is this man gonna kill me?" Like,
Yeah.
he has a face that is can exude so much hatred,
Mhm.
but then he also has a face.
Oh, see, you should have led with the middle photo.
This is my pitch. This is my pitch for him. He's got so I didn't lead with the middle photo because it's an older photo. So
Okay.
the photo that I have is actually in the last slide
Recent.
is a very recent photo. So I was like,
Okay.
we got to kind of see what he's really looking like. But the first photo here is Rhys looking at Feyre saying something, and he's just got this little shit grin on his face.
Mhm. Yeah.
Then we've got the emotional side in the
Mhm.
middle. And then we've got like that, he's got a really good smile
Yeah.
that changes his entire demeanor. And you're like, oh, he's real cute.
This was convincing me. This is a good pitch.
He's really, like, honest to God, truly, I think he is the choice.
Hmm.
I love Phil.
Mhm.
That one punched me directly in the face because absolutely never would have thought of him. So going back and forth, like I think we gotta kind of like work through it because I could go almost either way,
Yeah.
but Thomas, he's Scottish,
Okay, that's a plus.
deep the accent, and it would work. I kind of want that because I don't
Okay.
want Reese to be like this American man.
No,
And Phil's dialect is more
he's pretty posh. Yeah, in
right,
real life.
pretty posh.
Yeah.
Not it's yeah, right. So I'm like, I'm waffling, you know.
I'm doing a quick Google that might help us, which is how tall is Phil Dunster?
Mhm. Tho-
Um,
Thomas is
pretty sure
6 foot.
he's 32.
Hmm.
He went to the Bristol Old Vic Theatre School, so we were right about
We
him
were
being
right.
a British theatre baby.
We knew
Uh,
it. You don't just get Ted Lasso out of nowhere if you're not
no.
properly trained. Okay, we can circle back, but
Yeah.
this is my heavy pitch for it. I mean, I texted you about this. I was like, girl, I'm struggling.
Good.
I do
Hmm.
not know who to do because I really see him as like the choice, but I'm like, I don't know. Like it just seems like it's such an important character.
Yeah.
And so I was digging, researching clips, like everything. I was watching. I was like, do I want to watch this Descendants show now? Like it's kind of
Right.
old and it's like a tween show, but like, do I need this? He has eyeliner in it.
It would be research for the good
It's
of the podcast.
right, it's research.
Yeah.
So I might have to. I just it's the middle and the third photo. Those photos are a little bit older, but not that much older. But I don't really honestly see a difference besides longer hair and
No.
Photoshop of face.
I am into it. Also, I can't find Phil's height, but Brett Goldstein is 5'11", and in a shot of them side by side, it looks like Phil is a little shorter. So I'm gonna say he's 5'10", and I think Reese does need to be. We need the like TikTok sound where it's like 6'4". You don't speak English, como esta? So I'm not gonna call him a short king because 5'11" is very tall, but
Right.
I feel like for this, we needed a giant.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
especially if our and we'll get there for book 2, Cassian
Oh
and
yeah.
Azrael. Azrael has the biggest wingspan, so
He
I
sure
think
does.
he's the tallest. They're like big dudes, right? Like
Yeah.
these girls are supposed to be like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
They're Illyrian, right? And like Reese is half Illyrian, so like I think height. Now, I don't typically let height dictate a choice because movie magic, right? But
Sure.
I don't know how we would movie magic the three of them walking. Because we've got those scenes, and like with training and stuff, you really see the physicality of their body types. So that is my very heavy pitch for Thomas Doherty as Rhysand.
I think you won. I think this is a good casting. Yeah.
Okay.
You had me really frightened with Homeboy before on the other side, but I think this one is good.
That's why I kept him in there as part of my pitch. I was like, I don't think
it can only go up from here.
I think I've got to scare the shit out of them. Yeah, Matt Rafe needs to stay the far away from any fantasy books. He will ruin it.
Yeah.
Okay, amazing. So, thank you. You can have the rest of the cast. Okay.
Right, no, let's keep going.
Here's who I've got for our Elaine. Hannah Dodd.
What?
I know. That's why I was like, oh. So I could see her as either Feyre or Elaine, but I chose Elaine because, and I know you don't like Elaine, and neither do I, and I like Hannah Dodd, but she's got those brown eyes.
Yeah.
That
she looks like Bambi. She looks
she's got the Bambi look, and can you imagine her and Jordan Fisher?
Yeah. That'd be
for cute.
I am happy to switch, and then if we move Alicia to Feyre, I think that's fine.
Depending on my Nesta. Yeah. Now, my Nesta is also a Phoebe, but not Bridgerton Phoebe. Phoebe Tonkin from the originals.
Okay. I like it.
She's literally so gorgeous and stunning. She's a little bit older. So this is why I was kind of like going back and forth, because Alicia is the death, right? She is death. Scary looking. And I fully see that. So like, I think before we decide, I would like to, when we get through the rest of this, I would like to pull up maybe some photos of the few of them and kind of see them in some different veins of like who we're deciding on.
Okay.
Because I can't make a decision, and she's significantly older than many of the people I think we would be casting.
Who's the oldest sister? Elaine, right?
I don't see her as Elaine because I just see her as sharper. No. I do see Hannah Dodd as Elaine. Then I kind of like your Nesta as Nesta. Thinking about like the age thing again. Like Alicia as Nesta.
Okay. Alicia as Nesta, and then Hannah as Elaine, but then who's Feyre?
Do you like my Feyre, or do we want to like go back to the drawing board?
I'm fine with your Feyre. Yeah.
But you haven't seen her act, so
that's true.
Maybe we pull up a little clip.
We won't have to.
We can just talk about it. So
and also
we'll pull up
a clip of Alicia that I think will demonstrate her prowess.
Okay, perfect.
I do not know this man, but he's a cutie.
My Lucian is Daryl McCormack. I've only seen him in one thing. And he's not notable in this thing.
Yeah.
I wanted Jordan Fisher. Like,
that's just think the choice has been made. I think we have to go with Jordan Fisher.
That's just who I see. And I know people talk about like Boo Boo Stewart being, but
I think Boo Boo Stewart is a lovely
that doesn't
actor.
work.
It doesn't work for me.
Right. And
it's not quite right. Yeah.
And I actually think Boo Boo Stewart is a bad actor.
To be honest with you, I don't remember him at all from those movies.
It's not even the Twilight movies. I know him from Good Trouble on ABC Family, and his acting is dog shit. I don't want to see you play Lucian. You couldn't do that. Daryl McCormack, though, what I saw him in was the new Twisters movie. He's an Irish actor and is theater trained. He was a main character in The Woman in the Wall. He's a Peaky Blinder. I don't know him from there. People would know him and be like, Daryl McCormack, absolutely. It's like, I feel like I would be being like, well, you check most of the physical boxes, and that's not what I'm trying to do.
Yeah. I think we need to go with somebody that we know can act, can charm, can flirt, can be funny.
Yep. It's Jordan Fisher for me. Yeah, that's a clear winner. So sorry, Daryl. Maybe I'll give Peaky Blinders another go.
Can you
I
like
just like
get
couldn't do
an
it.
audio clip of Kiki Palmer saying "I'm so sorry" to this man whenever we like move off of somebody?
I don't know who this man is. I mean, he could be walking down the street. I wouldn't know a thing. Sorry to this man.
Sorry, Daryl McCormick.
Sorry.
You've been uncast. Sophie Turner.
Look at our queen. There she
You
is.
just love this photo of her.
That's beautiful. Yep.
We know her.
Thank
We
you.
love her. She looks so good. She is Amarantha.
Yeah, that's easy peasy for me.
Now, I've got
You're at it.
Leslie Jones. Don't worry, we'll get to the cereal.
Good, because I like can't breathe.
Perfect. Alice, I have Leslie Jones from SNL. I love your choice of Octavia Spencer.
Yeah.
But Octavia Spencer is little, and Alice is supposed to be big and like very tall, because she is oh my god, I'm blanking on it's like a druid.
Yes. But wait, that's so funny because I didn't know that, and I picture Alice as like short and stout, and that's why I picked Octavia Spencer.
That's how I originally did too. And then I was like looking up the physical descriptions, and so she is described as being tall and having her skin
looks bark skin. Yeah.
Looks like tree bark skin, but you don't see it until human Feyre does not see that
you can't see it until it's lifted. Yeah.
Correct. It would be so funny. Leslie Jones be the one that's like just like annoyed with her humanness.
Yeah.
And where the fuck is Leslie Jones?
Hosting supermarket sweep apparently, which is very funny. But she needs to be working. Yeah.
She needs to be working. And so I was like, I think this would be a really great space for her to come in, that it's a big enough name, but a small enough role. I think I just really love her. But I do love Octavia Spencer too. So
I totally miss that she's supposed to be tall. If she's supposed to be tall, this is the right choice. For some reason, I read Alice as more like perturbed and like an angry, like not like my whole family is at risk and I'm like very annoyed that I have had to like I have to explain this lie to you because everything like this is so dumb. But it would also be a nice little break for that to be more like annoyed funny.
Like if there's two roles that need to have some sort of comic relief, it is Alice and the cereal.
Yeah.
Which is why for the cereal, I have cast Pete Davidson.
Again, how dare you? Like, respectfully, this is your podcast, but how dare you?
Hear me out.
All right.
Imagine this bitch. Now tattoo-less. In a cloak. In the fucking woods. Trapped. Because the cereal's to be trapped. The whole arc of the cereal is someone who is so bored that it's like, I need attention. I think Pete Davidson would be so funny and makes absolutely zero sense and also makes sense.
I applaud your ambition and your creative vision. I think it's hilarious. I don't know that I can go there with you.
For sure. And that's why we'll be casting Tilda Swinton.
Sure. You picked a blonde Pete Davidson, so they
I did.
They kind of look similar.
I picked a blonde Pete Davidson, but you know, I knew that was never really gonna fly. You can have Tilda Swinton. We'll lock those two in. Leslie Jones as Alice, and the cereal is Tilda Swinton. Also, I think the cereal being a little feminine is great. Like, yeah. I want that. But I don't know. It's Pete Davidson popped in my head, and I couldn't let it go, and I just was like, this is funny. How can I justify this? Yeah. I'll try real hard. And then my Papa Archeron is Christian Bale. Again, huge name. But I don't feel like he's really doing much anymore. And he's aging. And so maybe it might be nice to have him in something like a whittling man, like a widow little man, and he's a widow. He whittles and widows.
I like him for it. I the same thing that I think he's too famous.
I fully agree. It has to be somebody nobody knows and nobody cares about.
Anyway, we'll get
agree.
to that
I
in the
agree.
next one. We're still on the first.
We'll get there. So I just threw Christian Bale in there because I was like, he seems dad-like and needs a resurgence of career, but I'm not married to him. So
Okay.
no, I just really quickly, I just want to see if you want to reconsider your choice for the cereal. Now would be the time. I just one last pitch.
What?
For Pete.
Did that is some top tier Photoshop work. I still reject it on principle.
Thank you. Okay. All right. I just, I had to give one last try for possibly Lauren Michaels to fund this television series or film. Okay. Sure. So this is my cast. Look at that picture. Okay.
Yeah,
look at Reese.
It's pretty good.
Yeah. I was trying to do that one for my other one. I was like, nah, I got to save that for the end in case I have to keep fighting. And now we will go through one by one to check through who we have locked in and who we still need to do a little bit more research and go back to the drawing board for. Okay. So, Feyre, we seem to need to look into our chosen actresses for Feyre and your Nesta to kind of see their acting chops to see where we want to place them. Okay. Elaine, we have locked in as
Hannah.
Yep. Tamlin, Sam Reed.
Yeah, I'm happy with that.
Okay, great. Rhysand. I'm really glad that you heard out my pitch, and I'm really sorry that I had to hit you with a Matt Rife.
I feel like that was a bit manipulative, but I'll let it slide.
It was a preamble, right? Like, it's like I really was considering Matt Rife until yesterday, where I was like, I can't get Thomas Doherty out of my head, and I don't know why. I couldn't justify why, so I had to do research. I was up till 2 a.m. researching that man. I was like, I have to plead my case. I will plead my case. So thank you so much for giving me Reese. I would really like to see him do it. I think he'd be good, especially this picture. Like, ooh, hello. He's scary. Lucian.
Jordan Fisher, baby, all the way.
Jordan Fisher. Absolutely. Yeah. We love Jordan Fisher. Amarantha, we locked in as Sophie Turner. And then we've got Pete Davidson.
Tilda Swinton.
Tilda Swinton as the cereal. We've got Leslie Jones as Alice. Now, do we feel like we need to check for sure a height situation?
She's an
Urisk.
Oh, she was taller than the average human and had features that differentiated her from humans, such as slightly pointed ears, just like High Fae. When Feyre saw her, said she was a plump, brown-haired Fae, and after Tamlin allowed her to see with the clear vision of the Fae, realized that Alice had tree bark-like skin, something she hadn't noticed before.
Right.
Great. Nailed it.
So Leslie Jones. Okay. Papa Archeron, we go with Nikolai. Because he's lesser known than a Christian Bale.
So we really just have to sort out the system.
Nikolai. So let's look up some things that we can cut out in post. Perfect. And we're back. Doing some research. We went back to the drawing board and we've moved things around. We have kept our Tamlin as Sam Reed. We've kept our Rhysand as Thomas Doherty. We've kept our Lucian as Jordan Fisher. We've kept our Elaine as Hannah Dodd. We've kept our Amarantha as Sophie Turner. Papa Archeron is Jaime Lannister. That's who he is.
Yeah.
Alice is Leslie Jones. The cereal is Tilda Swinton. And then we figured out our Nesta and Feyre. We have taken
my Nesta
and moved her to Feyre. Because that
Alicia
was my
did-
first instinct too when I saw
Yeah.
your photo. I was like, wait a second.
When we first did this, I don't actually remember why I talked myself out of her being Feyre, but it's perfect.
I think that's like the instinctual choice.
Yeah.
She's so lovely. Like both
Mhm.
dressed up and dressed down. She can do both, right? Like she's got to be
Yeah.
able to do both. And like wear some
Yeah,
cute
agree.
paint covered overalls eventually.
Right? Yeah, completely disregard her entire character arc and just become a pregnant painting
Yep.
person.
Right. So your Nesta, Alicia.
Alicia Debnam Carey is, I think, how you say it.
Okay. And then our Nesta, we had to go back into the archives and we have chosen Nickelodeon starting actress from Victorious into Dynasty, Elizabeth Gillies.
We have indeed.
Liz Gillis. Because she's gorgeous and has the gray blue eyes. She's only 31. So our challenge here was like, Hannah Dodd is kind of looks baby, but to your point, you had a good point that like kind of when you're reading the books,
you forget that Feyre is the baby.
Right. Because Feyre is
doing fucking anything to save them.
right. So she's got to be strong as hell.
Yeah.
And we have to think of like Nesta now, and Nesta now is kind of a little cowardly and bitchy.
Yeah.
And entitled.
Yeah, she's a snotty little brat.
That's where Liz comes in. She's a brat. Like, she's a brat. And with daddy issues. And then Elaine is, I don't know what planet Elaine is on. Why shouldn't just fucking make some food?
Grow food.
Good God, lady.
Woman.
Literally. Like, God, we're so hungry. And that's it then.
So we did it. Please call HBO. We have solved the problem.
Just have us, then call us, and then we can walk you through our very professional process.
We have very well thought out pitches.
We do. Look at I fully swooped in and took a resand.
You did, and I was really committed to mine, and you have convinced me otherwise. So I think we could also convince somebody at HBO.
I think so too.
Actually, what channel was Outlander on?
Outlander's Showtime.
Showtime. Maybe we want to do Showtime because I feel like we need.
That's what I'm saying. Like, keeps working with everybody from Outlander, and Outlander's going to be done, and they've got a spinoff coming I work on Outlander for the music, and they've got a spinoff coming called Blood of My Blood, and it's, I think I can say that. Yeah, that's out. I think it's public knowledge. And I'll check before I edit this. They have Blood of My Blood coming out, and it's a shorter spin-off series. And so I'm like, they're not doing anything.
I don't want to lose that it's like by a woman, about women. I don't want to say it's for women because I do think it's for everybody, but like clearly its audience is women.
For sure.
And I don't want it to get male. So
I agree. I think some of it can, because like this is a great way to like bring in the book boyfriend, like our book boyfriends, our book husbands and stuff that were like, hey, like maybe you want to read chapter 54 or like whatever.
For no reason. Just
for no reason. Just
54 and 55.
Like I think a good show with that action is going to bring them in too. So
but and I also think that like
girl,
so much of the book appeals to to anybody. Like it
absolutely.
It is the hero's journey story. It like the war is very cool. The politics are very interesting and cool. The characters are like well developed and thought out and are interesting people and but I don't want to lose that it was like for, about, and by women.
Yes, correct. It was hard. This was a hard one.
Tough.
I think this was the hardest one.
Yeah. You told me this was going to be an hour and we've been here for 2.
We've been here for 2 hours.
We've been here for almost 3.
We've been here for almost 3 hours. So I will see you later.
Goodbye. I need to eat.
So goodbye. Seriousness, this was super fun. Thank you so much for coming on here. I know that it was like a lot and you are working your ass off in your like real life job. But I really appreciate you being here. And, you want to come back for book 2 and all the other books and we build off of it.
I would love to do the full series.
Yes, do the series.
Yeah, that'll be nice. Cute. Okay. This has been so fun.
Also, let's go eat. But thank you so much for being here. You're the best. And then let's go get some drinkies and food and bitch about life.
Yeah.
Bye.
Okay. Bye.
If you enjoyed this episode of FanCastic, let us know by leaving us a comment, liking, reviewing, and subscribing to us on YouTube, Spotify, Twitch, Apple Podcasts, Good Pods, or wherever else you listen to us. And don't forget to head to our Instagram and let us know what you think of our FanCasts. All FanCast graphics are listed on our Instagram, so sound off in the comments and let us know if you liked our choices, hated our choices, or have a better choice. As always, thank you for listening.